Hello, my name is Emma Rothbauer, and I am an alumni of the Bloomer FFA. And about 2 years ago, I graduated from Bloomer High School and then moved down to Lamar, Colorado to go to Lamar Community College for their equine programs. I am a double major in horse training and management and equine business management, and I just wanted to make this presentation to share with you my experience there, different career opportunities in the equine industry, and share these programs that I have been a part of and that I would recommend to anyone interested in a career with horses. So first, just to go over the degree plans, there is HTM and EBM. So for both programs, you get to ride a horse every single day while you're at school. So the first semester for HTM is basic care and training, second semester is advanced performance training, third semester specialized training, and then your fourth semester is an internship. And then EBM, your first semester is elementary equitation, second semester is intermediate equitation, third semester is applied horsemanship, and then your fourth semester you also have an internship for that one. So for both of these degrees, you do also have classroom classes about horses. Your first semester is horse production, which goes over anatomy, colors, the basic things about horses. The second semester, you have equine reproduction, which goes over breeding mares, stallions, foaling, and then we did have a brood mare that was sent to the barn that we could do foal watch on, and then when she gave birth, everyone went down to the barn and then watched it on video, and we kind of talked about everything that was happening since we had learned about it, so it's a really cool experience there as well. And then my second semester, I did an equine eval class, which I believe is now an elective, but that one is about the different shows, events in the AQHA and how to judge and score them, which is really cool, especially if you're interested in any showing. But I believe now the required class will be equine sales, which will be about the process of putting horses up for sale and selling them and bloodlines, and then they've also talked about actually running a horse sale at the college, so that might be something that happens as well, which would be really cool. Your third semester, you'll have equine management, which talks about nutrition, vet care, wrapping your horse's legs, some rehabilitation stuff, dental, just all of the little things that you have to do for your horse if you're going to own horses, and especially if you're going to run a business with horses. And then there's also an intro to internship class at the barn, which goes over how to get an internship, prepare for it, and then what you have to do when you're on an internship, just so that when you go to your internship at the end, you don't feel totally flustered, like you don't know what's going on. So then for both of these degrees, you do still have to take generals like math, English, public speaking, etc. But if you're able to take some classes in high school that will earn college credit that you can transfer, I would highly recommend to do that. Then you don't have to worry about it at college, and you don't have to pay for it, and I honestly wish that I would have done more of that too, so I could just focus on horses. And then EBM, you also have some business classes. I took Intro to Business, Accounting, PC Applications, all of that stuff that just helps you with the process of owning and running a business. So now I'm going to go into more detail about the program, starting with HTM. So your first semester, you will get a 2-year-old to start under saddle. These pictures show my 2-year-old from my first semester that I called Drifter. And these horses are sent in by owners from all over the country that the instructors handpick, so they're all very nice with very nice bloodlines. So some of them will have papers that you can look at, or the instructors might know the owner and they can kind of tell you about the horses a little bit. And then you'll get numbers, and then whoever is picked first gets to pick their colt first, and so on. And then the day that all the colts come, you'll have to wait at the barn, and then as the trailers come in, you'll meet the owners and get your horse, and then you'll put it in the stall for it that you already have ready. And once that horse is there, it is your responsibility to take care of it the entire semester. You'll have to clean its stall every day. And then we do have feed crew, which is a group that goes through a weekly rotation through all the students, and you basically feed and water the horses morning and night, and then sweep at night as well. And it just kind of keeps everything going well, so everyone doesn't have to wake up super early every single day of the semester. So yeah, we usually start working with these horses the very first day they come in. You'll do some groundwork in a round pen, lunging, desensitizing, and then eventually putting the saddle on. And how fast you go with your horse depends on how your horse reacts and then how confident you are as well. But it usually goes pretty quickly, and within the first few days, a lot of people will put the first rides on their colt. And so I just have some pictures on here to kind of show the process a little bit. So once you ride your colt in a round pen with a bit and it goes really well and they're listening to you pretty well, then you'll go to the arena to start riding, and it'll be a little bit crazy at first with a bunch of 2-year-olds running around. But slowly you'll teach them more things like circles and stopping and backing up, and then work into moving their shoulders and picking up leads and lead changes, and basically just get more advanced as you go, as you would expect. All of our colts are worked on reining patterns, so there are riding quizzes that are done every week once the colts are broke enough to do one, and they slowly get more difficult as time passes, and you do get graded for it, but it's basically just to see if you're on track with your training for your colt. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but they do have to get the gist of what you're trying to get them to do. And then at the end of each semester, we put on a show, and you get to do a reining pattern on your colt. We have a professional judge come in that will score everyone just to see how everyone's doing, but it's overall just to show the owners the horses that you've made, and it's kind of a cool experience to know that you took a horse that had never had a saddle on before and were able to do a really nice reining pattern on it, and it's a lot of fun. Your family also gets to come watch, and we do that at the end of every semester. So then your second semester, you start 2 colts under saddle. So it's basically the same process, but with 2 horses instead of 1. And your instructors will expect you to be able to do more of it on your own and figure things out on your own a little better. They're obviously there to help still, but they're also trying to teach you how to do it on your own so that you can go have a career in horse training as well. And then it sounds like a lot to have 2 colts after you have 1, but once you know so much more, it's a lot easier, and you really just have to be good with time management. And the bay horse, so the one that has the picture on the sides, her name was Fancy, and then the one in the middle I named Moonshine. So those are my 2 colts. And all 3 of my colts from my first year were barrel horses, but there's a wide variety of different horses that get sent in, but they are all quarter horses. And so here's some pictures from second semester. As you can see, we were able to get these colts a lot better trained than the first one, just because everyone knew a lot more and it was easier to progress. So you can see some pictures. We work with cattle a little bit. Sometimes we go on field trips and do some branding and sorting and moving cows from one pasture to another, which is a ton of fun, and the horses really enjoy it as well. And then I got both of my horses rope broke, and I even roped the dummy off Fancy a little bit. And as you can see in the bottom middle pictures from our show, I did bring my rope out for the show just to show her owners what she was able to do by the end of the semester. And then we do also have trails at the barn, so you can get your horses out of the arena. They're nothing too special, but it is good for their mind and can be fun versus just riding in an arena constantly. And so our trails are shown in the top left picture. But yeah, it's really fun. We get to do a whole lot second semester, and you have 2 horses, so just adds to the excitement. So for third semester, this time you're not starting a colt. You're getting a horse that has already started, and you're choosing a discipline to specialize them in. So this was my horse, Rillo. I specialized in the cow horse because that is what I'm interested in being as a trainer. And since they're already broke, we're able to do more with them because they're more advanced. So we did work some cattle. We did some boxing, which is like an intro to going down the fence. We set up a cutting exercise a couple times. And then you can see in some pictures here, I also roped off Rillo. We go on the trails. We went on field trips. We just got to do a lot with these horses. And it's kind of fun because they know a little more. So with her, I was able to spin and do sliding stops and things like that my 2-year-olds just weren't quite able to do by the time the semester is over with them. And then for your fourth semester, that is your internship. As you can see, you can basically go with whatever trainer you would like. You can go to a colt starter, cow horse like I am, reining, roping, barrel racing, cutting. Like, the opportunities are endless, and you can go wherever you'd like. The best way is to make phone calls, and you can go with the fanciest trainer you want. And if they tell you can do an internship, then you can go there. So it's a really cool once in a lifetime opportunity. And then there's also a really high rate of jobs after an internship. A lot of these people will offer you a full-time position when your internship is over. So it's a perfect way to get started in the equine industry and knowing that you should be able to get a job out of it as well. So now on to EBM. The first and second semester, you bring your own horse to work on your riding skills. So this is my horse, Lily. And in EBM, we do a lot of different drills. We do different types of drills too, so it could be one skill, but we're going to learn how to teach your horse how to do it in multiple ways, just because every horse is different, and one drill might work really well for another horse, and then a different one won't do as well. So it really just helps you figure out the best way to teach your horses and what's going to get them farther along. And then we also work on rider position, so we'll ride stirrupless and focus on where every part of our body is and making sure that we are being helpful to our horse. So it's really helpful for teaching you horsemanship, which can be really applicable with the colts as well, which is why I really liked being a double major. So these are some pictures that I have with Lily. We ride in all sorts of arenas. We have an arena we call the two rail, which is a really deep, smaller outdoor arena. And then there's a top arena that is a little bit bigger. There's also a rodeo arena, which has all the rodeo stuff set up in it. And then we do have an indoor if it ever gets cold or windy, so we can definitely ride every single day. And sometimes we do ride bareback and do kind of just a little bit of everything for EBM. But it's all about teaching good horsemanship and figuring out what you can do best to help your horse in the best way possible. So for your third semester, some people will just bring their own horse again, or maybe a different horse that they have, and you can also borrow a horse if you don't have one, for anyone wondering about that. But since I was a double major and I had the training experience, I was able to take a Greenbroke horse that somebody sent into the school to ride for the semester. So this horse's name is Nala, and she was started my spring semester by one of my classmates, and then I took her for EBM. She was a really fun project. I was excited to take her because nobody else wanted her since she's lazy and sassy, but I wanted to see what I could do with her, and she ended up being basically the top horse of EBM at the end of the semester. For a 2-year-old, it was really impressive, and she did really well. She wasn't good for the cow horse reining type stuff, but when it comes to pleasure and the ranch riding pattern that we showed in, she did amazing, and it was really a lot of fun. And I wanted to include this middle picture to show some of her personality. This horse was so lazy that whenever we took a break while we were riding, she would flip her lip up as if to show how happy she was to take a break. And then here are some more pictures with Nala on the trails, bareback, and then someone was pulling a little tarp behind them, so she was watching that. And we do work with the cattle a little bit on these horses and also take them on field trips every now and then too. So we still get to do a lot with these ones. And again, I just think it's a really perfect way to learn how to have good horsemanship and how to train your horses in the best way. And then this third semester, we also make a training plan for our horses at the beginning. So it's kind of taking what you learned from the first year and what's best for your horse and then applying it so that you're making the best plan that you think will work for your horse, since you should know how to read them a little better and how to work on things the most efficient way. And then I also wanted to include that the EBM includes some other things that HTM does not. So we put on 2 4-H clinics every year, one in the fall run by sophomores and one in the spring run by freshmen. So the bottom 2 pictures show my spring freshman clinic. We chose different events to do, so I did barrel racing, and we're just showing the kids a couple different drills and about a pocket for barrel racing and rating. And then the top right picture is from the fall clinic I did as a sophomore, and we taught these kids how to look at a pattern, read it, and be able to perform a pattern at a show. And then in this picture, I'm on Nala showing a little boy how to make a really nice circle on his horse when a pattern asks for a circle. And then the other picture, we went to a 4-H meeting and included a little activity for the kids. So we had the front person hold on to the bit in their hands and then the one behind steer them, so they kind of knew what a bit might feel like in their horse's mouth and how it would work for steering. And then also EBM sophomores will teach a freshman class one day. So you get to basically choose whatever you want and take the things that you've learned from your instructor in the first year and teach your own class, since this degree also prepares you for being a riding instructor if that's something you might be interested in. And everyone in EBM also helps put on the spring and fall show. There are different jobs included to help everything run well. And again, just another way to prepare you for a business that might involve certain events like that. And then the fourth semester for EBM is also an internship, and that can involve anything besides training, since HTM provides the training internship. And so I just included a few examples like reproduction, rehabilitation, a veterinary clinic, dental, and chiropractic work. But there is so much out there in the horse world. You can just work for a horse show company or a horse judge or get into equine nutrition. Like, the opportunities really are endless, and there's a lot out there. So if you're interested in something with horses but don't think you really want to be a trainer, just know that there are a lot of different opportunities out there, and people are looking for someone to hire for jobs like this all over the place. So if you might be interested in something like that, the EBM program would be absolutely perfect. So some other activities at the barn, we like to have some fun. So the left picture shows a little Easter egg hunt we did on horseback with Stancy. I did, and that was a lot of fun. And then for Halloween, we can dress up our horses if we want, and we put on a gymkhana this past fall. So me and Nala were racing stripes for that, which was really ironic since she's slow, and it was a lot of fun. And then I also wanted to include in this last picture that there's a lot of opportunities you can find in Lamar, or your instructors can tell you about. Some including summer jobs in between your 2 years at Lamar, which I did have a couple summer jobs down in Oklahoma and Colorado in my year, or my summer in between the 2 years. And then I also took this little horse, Max. One of my instructors knew some people that owned thoroughbreds that they send to the racetrack, and I was able to put the first 30 days on him, and then he was sent to Oklahoma to do the actual race training. But I got to do the 30 days, start him under saddle on my own. I did ask a couple questions here and there, but it was basically my first actual practice with training a horse, and I got paid for it. And then I have also gotten an update from the owners since he was sent back that their trainer was very happy with him, and they wanted to offer me a job to start more colts because they were so happy with how it went. So, I mean, if you just talk to your instructors and look for other possible opportunities out there, there's some really cool stuff. It's a lot of fun, and then it can also further your path for a career in whatever equine industry type job you're interested in. So LCC also has a rodeo team for anyone interested in rodeo. I personally was not on it, so I don't know all of the details, but they do travel all over the place down in that area, from in Lamar to 8 hours away in Wyoming. And they do that on the weekends in the spring and fall. And then most of their practices are in the afternoons and evenings. And if you want to be in HTM and or EBM, you can also do rodeo team. There's people that do all sorts of things and then still do the rodeo team as well. So if that sounds like a lot of fun to you, it's definitely a good possibility and opportunity. So just to end it all, I wanted to include some things about my experience. Another thing I haven't mentioned yet is work study. LCC provides many different things for work study, and there are some at the barn, which is what I did. And so I was a work study in the spring and fall. Usually we have 3 work studies that clean stalls for one of the instructors, which I did in the fall. And then I also help feed the cattle that we have for when we work our horses on cattle. And then in the spring, I was the extra fourth person, so I did a lot of cleaning, including sweeping by the indoor arena and cleaning the vet room and scrubbing stalls, things like that. But I'm already at the barn all the time, so it was a really easy thing to do. And I had about 11 hours per week and was able to make some money to help pay for college. So that was really helpful, and it's an opportunity available for you if you're interested. And then for my future plans, I am currently about to start my spring EBM internship at Weems and Stevens Equine Hospital in Aubrey, Texas. So I will be observing and assisting a variety of veterinarians, and they have surgery, sports medicine, reproduction, basically anything with vet care and horses, and they're like the best of the best that's here, especially for quarter horses or your typical riding horses. So I will be able to learn a lot about that and how to take care of my horses properly when I am a trainer, since that is my end goal. And then for my summer internship, I will be at Sam Smith Reining Horses. So I will be assisting the head trainer with saddling, warming up, riding, reining and rein cow horses, and then also going to shows with him to prepare for a future as a rein cow horse trainer. So that will also be a really amazing opportunity, and I'll be able to learn a lot there from a really high quality horse trainer. And then if it goes well, I believe I will have a full-time job there too. So again, this program and this college gives you such a good experience while you're there, and I was able to learn a lot, build up a lot of confidence, and have a lot of goals for the future. And then with the internships, they help actually work you towards that future that you want, and it really is just a perfect way to get into the equine industry. So thank you everyone for listening to this presentation. I hope that it was interesting. You maybe learned something, and if anyone is interested in going to school here or a career in the equine industry and has any questions, you can contact me. I included my number. You can call or text, whatever works for you, or email me. And I am totally willing to answer any questions, help you apply for the school, or whatever you might be interested in. But I would sure love to share this with anyone who might be interested in a career with horses and let you know that it is definitely possible if it's something you're interested in. So thank you again for listening.